The second principle in your book is liking, which is we prefer to say yes to people that we like. What are sort of the main variables that carry a lot of the weight to whether we like somebody or not?
There are really two major variables that we can influence. One is similarity. We like people who are like us. So, one thing we can do is to point to commonalities that genuinely exist. Remember, you asked that insightful question, what's the difference between influence and manipulation? If we point to a genuine comparability that exists between us and the other individual, right? That person feels a greater rapport with us. Oh, you're a runner? I'm a runner. You're an only child? I'm an only child. Okay, now there's a bond between us, and those people will feel more rapport with us and want to do business with us if those are genuinely there. So, for example, there was one study that was done between negotiators who were bargaining over email. And, email is the most bloodless communication device we have ever devised. And as a result, they were stymied in their negotiations, deadlocked, so that in 30% of the instances, both sides walked away with nothing. There was no mutually agreeable, beneficial compromise for both sides. They just left the scene. That was for half of the negotiators. The other half were told, before you begin the negotiation by email, send some information about yourself to the other negotiator, your negotiating partner. What your hobbies are, what your interests are, where you grew up, where you went to school, what your major was in college, these kinds of things. And in that case, stymied negotiations went from 30% to 6%. Now, here's the key, I think. When the researchers analyzed the data, it wasn't the amount of personalizing information that had been sent across. It was how many commonalities were in those accounts. If there were a lot of commonalities, similarities, they got the most concessions. The key was the parallel. So the implication is clear for us. We now have a tool that we never had before, the internet, that allows us to know some things about the people that we are going to interact with and hoping to influence in our direction. It's not proprietary information. People give us that information on social media, LinkedIn, and so on. We can find that, and where we find genuine commonalities, we can just raise those to the surface.